Joel is.
I counted.
You were in.
10, 9, 8, 5,
I'm
4,
in.
3, 2, 1.
Is it live? I gotta refresh so I can get to the comments. We're live. Top chat. Live chat. Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm here.
Perfect timing, 10 o'clock. Heck yeah, dude.
It's the mighty Woodrow. Good morning, Daniel. Matt, our pal Con. Everybody's here. Whew. Good morning. I like it. Don't worry. Sean's running over.
I think that is,
He's behind the camera.
I think that is good.
The Baxter's just sitting here.
Kevin Walsh said he cannot post his comment into the live chat. I don't know why. Everybody else
What?
is
It's
coming
because
through.
you're banned. No, I'm just
Whoa,
kidding.
whoa.
Oh.
You're not supposed to tell him. We got Matt here. Matt Sinopoulos.
We even got Frederick Rogers from Ireland.
The man, the myth, the legend, Fred.
Daniel's there from Port City.
Yep.
Daniel from Port City.
Mm-mm.
Ned in his donut shop. La Croix.
The itchy brother.
How nice you look, Sean.
I know, right?
Nice skin.
You look fine.
Wow.
You're fine.
Look at the live.
Welcome to the sex. Welcome to the sex, boys.
We're here.
Caffeination.
Is that a Pamplemousse
Station.
LaCroix? That is over there.
But this is
No, listen.
something Johnny needs to talk about.
I've got a new endorsement. No, I wish I did. Wouldn't it be cool if Sheets sponsored me?
Holy sheets.
But I'd
Jonathan's
wear
got a lot to
Sheets-
say.
I'd wear a Sheets shirt all the time. I would. Or a hat.
I mean,
Or a
listen,
keychain.
if they gave us free coffees and free Monster Rehabs,
These might be the best gas station iced coffees out there.
Skylar loves
just saying.
the chocolate banana one.
And
Like,
I
she
haven't
makes me stop
tried that one because
every
I'm
time we go
a straight
by.
man. But
Well,
I'm just
don't
kidding.
worry. You're on your way downhill,
I
bud.
mean, hey, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. It's nothing wrong. No, these are really good. I got two today because I'm running low today, boys. I'm running. My wife is
I
gone
like
to
it.
Atlanta without me.
So what? Is this your first one? Like that? That's your.
That's the first one I've ever had.
What's
I
the-
picked that one up first because I was like, okay, sensible, just coffee and a splash of milk,
Black and white.
like you know, the normal way. And then I was like, peanut butter. You can't go wrong with
Dude,
peanut
it's
butter.
got 15% potassium in it
Shh.
and 20%
7 grams
calcium.
of protein. How much sugar though? Only 4.5 grams of sugar. That's great,
Really?
actually.
There's 0% total added sugars to this. There's 12 grams of total sugars. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's more in this one. Never mind. How much? That was probably not much. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Still
we're
nice,
good.
though.
Everybody's happy. How much caffeine per? Let's see. I don't know.
It'll tell you somewhere.
I just needed a little.
I'm a big look at the caffeine. 95 milligrams
And
of
it says
caffeine.
1% of sales are donated to help kids. Kids with a Z, not normal kids. Kids with a
1%.
Z. I mean, hey,
You don't know how much of these they're selling, all right?
at least they're honest. Baxter,
You know what 1% of 100 billion is?
Yeah.
$1 billion.
listen, I like that. Good morning, Kevin. It says, if Sheets could partner with the jeans company, the tagline writes itself. Sheets your pants. I mean, that's true.
I think Sheets is on its way to a Bucky-like rise.
I mean, I feel like they're almost there.
They're almost there. They just got to expand. They need to make it bigger. I like Sheets. I'm a Sheets guy.
I mean, it does take them a long time to get your food ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baxter said our Christmas party's going to be at a Sheets this year.
Please read Ned's. Ned, I don't know how Ned has such good comments. Ned says we got RFK Jr. checking the ingredients here.
What do we got here?
God bless him. God bless him. And I don't like hot coffee. I only like cold coffee.
I can drink a hot coffee, but not in the summertime. You know?
I mean, I can drink. I'm not saying I can't drink them. Oh, you're back to the
Oh, yeah.
back to your
You
335.
know, it was winking at me. I was like, I just need something to hold.
The mayor says Wawa is greater than the Sheets. I've been in one of those. They're fine.
You talking about, what do they call those beers? Golden monkeys? Something like that?
Sure.
Brass monkeys?
I mean, Buc-ee's is obviously amazing. I've heard we're getting some new Buc-ee's in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know.
Some people despise it. I'm like, that's dumb.
But here's my problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Buc-ee's is a fun.
It's a thing.
It's out there.
Yeah.
Like you don't go every day.
You got to venture to it.
And I'm just afraid if we start getting Buc-ee's everywhere,
It's gonna ruin it.
it's gonna lower. It's gonna lower the happiness.
You ever been to?
No, Derek is not here, Tom, which is why there are framing lines, because it's me and Sean. We're not knowing what we're doing, so
Yeah.
we're figuring it all out. So that's why you got framing lines. But no, so yes,
In a weird way,
Oh.
if you look at it long
I
enough,
think it's better.
it starts to make you like focus on us more.
It's like a Quentin Tarantino
Yeah.
film.
And we're the most important thing here. Okay.
Also, I can't hear out of my right ear either, so if you see me looking at Sean strangely, I don't know. I'm falling apart. I'm probably dying. It's fine. It's fine. It's been a good run. Why are there so many sheets in North Carolina? I don't know, but there just are. There just are. All right, Sean, tell us about this 335.
It's a 1968 335.
Oh,
Pick
it's got
up-
a skinny little neck.
Skinny little neck,
But somehow it's still good.
man, I am like,
It's like very pleasant to play, but it is the it's very thin.
it is. She's
It's
taut.
it's not
She's
very
taut.
girthy nut. It's smaller.
Oh, look at that. Tom said he's got AIDS.
What?
Yeah. Sorry, Tom.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Everything Sean said was technically true, to be fair. But a 335 with no dots.
That's right. Big old blukes. I mean, they're not that big, I don't guess.
No, they're little tiny ones.
Yeah, they are.
Teeny tiny. I like
These
it. It's
are
fine.
my least favorite of the block inlays. But,
Tom, I am glad your colonoscopy went well.
yes,
I,
sir.
You know.
Tell us
I know.
about it, dude.
We would have loved to have been there in the exam room. That would have been great.
Tom, what was the most fun part about it?
I want to hear about the hearing aids because I bet hearing aids are trippy. I bet it's weird.
What's that like?
That's got to be like.
Whenever you
kinda
turn
crazy.
them up, is it really like...
Ah!
Yeah, is there any gain in there? Does it get distorted a little bit? Does she get crunchy?
Well, I got those. Those things. I got these. The things that go over your ears. And it's for like when you're shooting. So like if you shoot, it shuts that down, but it makes you hear everything else. So I can like hear little things moving in the
Birds
woods,
and stuff.
which is kind of freaky when you turn. I don't like that. I try to keep it even. But if you turn it way up, it's kind of freaky. But I imagine hearing aids are that plus some weirdness.
You know, I think...
I mean, I hate to compare Tom to my grandmother, but my grandmother just got them not long ago.
I
Sorry,
think
Tom.
It'd be kind of cool to have hearing
Jokes are out.
aids just to be able to hear stuff going on. You know what I mean? Be hyper aware. Imagine you're hunting in the woods.
So basically, to give you super hearing.
Yes,
You're basically Wolverine now.
yeah, you're like, I know that deer's coming. I can hear him. 200 clicks that way.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Here, this has nothing to do with guitar. This is ridiculous. But so if you could make one of your senses super powered, hearing, eyesight, taste, smell.
Smell. Dexter said
Yeah,
smell.
that'd be
He's
god
like,
awful.
that's amazing.
That'd be horrible. But which one would it be? I guess hearing would probably be the one. Maybe eyesight, but I feel like that'd be weird too.
Well, I mean, they say, like, what do you feel like you already have better... Like, how they say one of your senses is usually heightened from the other ones?
Yeah.
Which one do you feel like you have that's heightened? Like, I promise you this, my sense of smell is, like, not hardly there. I guess, taste is whatever. But for me, it is my ears, because I'm blind as shit. Like, I wear contacts. I can't see nothing, dude. So, do you feel like you already have... I guess what I'm asking is, have you already lived with that, like, a little bit of heightened hearing? Just from playing music, right? And
I don't know. I think I have hearing loss. Here's odd enough, right? So, like, my dad has, I think there's 11 of them all together. And about, I guess so, maybe 4 of my aunts and uncles were, like, mostly deaf, like, legally deaf, like, went to the school for the deaf in North Carolina. So I always thought that I didn't have the greatest hearing,
Oh, yeah.
actually. In fact, when Elijah was born, he failed his hearing tests, and we had to go to Vanderbilt. We were living in Nashville to get him all this crazy hearing stuff, and it was fine. But it freaked me out because of the history of it in my family.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
I
he's
was
gonna
like,
be
damn
deaf.
it. But part of it was because he was born early. He was premature. So
Isn't that's a wild trait to have in your family, that Clear. I mean, I would say that is probably why he did have issues initially, because you said he got like the tubes in his ear and all that stuff, right?
He's had that stuff. Well, when we got to Vanderbilt, like he felt that they make you do the test a couple times before you go to like the specialist place, right? But
Yeah.
when we went there, they were like, "Oh, it's fine." Like it just got fine. So I don't know. You know.
Well, that's odd.
And I mean, you know, there were a lot of people. I mean, not to get too loopy on you, but I mean, obviously there were a lot of people like praying and doing all that stuff. So whatever you think, I don't know, but it was a very odd thing. It was pretty odd
There you go.
experience. But so I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had better than average hearing. I probably had worse than average hearing. But
Well, I can tell you, having horrible eyesight.
now I've always had great eyesight,
I don't know.
like ridiculously good eyesight.
They thought I had glaucoma when I was a kid.
We're on to number two. On to number two, guys.
Rolling on. I just want to say a quick hello to Jack Stowe. I saw a quick check-in. Miss you all.
We love Jack.
Miss you, Jack. We need some Uncle Jack time.
He needs to come see us.
He does.
My coffee, like Samantha Fish, is hot, 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 is what Tim Hall says.
Nice.
So there you go.
I want to be
There
a grumpy
you
old
go.
man who's always ignoring people. My deaf gynecologist reads lips. Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
I got to start reading these before I start saying them.
I will
That's
say,
awesome.
I read somewhere that Tom said his hearing aid matches the EQ curve of his hearing loss, which I think is pretty neat. They can do that now.
That's cool.
I mean, they probably may not do that a long time, but you know, whatever.
Pretty nice. Fat Daddy Productions. Good morning. Good morning.
Sean needs to find some bold frames.
Heck yeah.
Bold frames. Get his
Or
people.
do you wear contacts?
I do wear contacts. I don't know. Like, I had to wear glasses all throughout elementary school, and I just was like,
Pretty good too.
once I started wearing contacts, it's like, I'm never going back. They'll never take me alive. It's just me. though.
I mean,
I'm blind as hell, dude.
I can't imagine. Chris, my wife is pretty blind, and you know, she wears contacts, but I don't know. Contacts kind of freak me out. And I guess once you get the hang of them, it's just no big deal, right?
You just touch it, rip it
It's no
around.
big deal.
I do. My one student, Mike, he's had to start wearing contacts, and I don't think he can. I think he's tried to do it. He was talking to me about it though, and he's done so much other like badass stuff. I'm like, come on, man. I was like, you got this. And I forgot like how sensitive it is to try to poke your eye. Be like, I don't know.
So there you go.
I don't know. All right. Sean, it's got to be 90 degrees today. Why are you wearing a flannel? Because I'm cool, Tiger Palmer.
He's got
Come
that
on, baby.
old people blood, you know.
That's right.
He's very thin. And he has no body fat, so
Like my spirit brother, Troy Van Leeuwen.
Oh, God.
All right. Vampires, baby. Vampires.
whatever makes you guys happy. Whatever makes you happy.
What are we going to talk about guitar-wise, though? Okay, enough
What's
about all
happening
this
in
old
guitar
business.
world? What's happening in guitar life? There's nothing really happening. I mean,
Ariel Pose's new guitar just got
yeah, no one
Ariel
cares about
Pose.
that.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry, Ariel Posen.
It's like a jazz master had a steroid infected
I don't know. How do you think when you're a guy? I don't know. How do I want to? I got to be careful here. I got to tiptoe a little bit.
I think, unfortunately, not unfortunately, that's kind of fucked up. There's a lot of people out there who want to see this guitar and want to, get their hands on it. I do think he has. It's kind of like Chris Buck, What Chris Buck has done for the Rev Star, he'll do for a dual P90 Strat, which is its own thing, whatever.
I'm excited to play.
That'd be neat. I'm excited. I'm excited to use my Ariel Posen slide on it.
Hey, it's almost like destiny.
What's Johnny's
one.
thoughts on it, though? Give me that.
I just want to cast a dosa. That's all I want.
I mean, I also only want to cast a dosa. I think
I'm just saying. Well, like, do you think? But this is going to be one of those deals, probably, where like he's going to play this for a while, and then he's going to end up playing it for one or two songs live, and then he's going to be playing his baritone Castadosa stuff.
I think he's got that.
Or like, does he have any of the Novo Castadosa, like the baritone Novo stuff?
I don't keep up with him that much. I'm not. I think he's a fine guitar player. He's great.
He's an amazing guitar
Yes.
player. No,
He,
no actual.
And I think too, whenever I say fine, and I can't say this every time I say it, but whenever I say fine guitar player, I mean fine in the
Like
the
a fine
highest,
wine.
Yes, like fine, a fine
Like fine
guitar.
dining or fine,
Not like a fine guitar,
fine
but
underwear.
fine,
Fine
like,
Italian underwear.
good. So
Is that a thing? Could be.
I think, I see him playing like that mule resonator thing, like it's
That's
not
cool.
the resonator, but it's like it's shaped like a Strat kind of thing, all aluminum body, and different stuff in that range, which is neat. I don't know. I don't really know. I think it's its own thing. It's gonna have its own little spirit. And what do you guys think?
I
You
would
guys-
love. Here's what I'd like to know. Right, I'd like to be a fly on the wall, like in the little boardroom where Fender, whoever's deciding they're going to come out with a new artist model. Right, because I understand if it's like somebody at the height of like pop
Yeah.
stardom, right? Like, oh, we're going to do a John Mayer guitar. Gotcha, that makes sense. Like Ariel Posen is amazing. He's a great player, but he's not that well known. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like he's necessarily at the top of his sort of curve of people being excited about him in our little guitar world. So, like, what do you think? Like, I would love to know why right now Fender was like, you know what? Let's do an Ariel Posen. Like, I'd love to know how those things. I just mean genuinely, genuinely curiosity. Like, how does that happen for artists who are in that sort of middle
Well,
tier? You know what I mean?
I think it's two things. It sounds like
compared to the Tyler Bryant.
Yeah.
That was one that came out and it sold immediately.
yes, the Tyler Bryant, which Baxter was referencing. I don't know if you guys can hear
Probably
him
not.
over there, but and those did sell really well. I think that had more of a thing to it about like the pick guard and some of the design stuff, which this does too. The P90s look cool. They got the tortoiseshell thing.
That is
I'm
cool.
more excited about this one's pickup configuration.
Yeah. with the
Well, this
P90s.
one's something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's something.
Well,
You
and,
know.
and to return to your question, I think the way that this has come up is
Like, do you think he went and said, "Hey guys, I know at Fender," because obviously he has like they have
Yeah.
artist relations, right? So, do you think he said, "Hey, I really want to make this guitar with these two
I'm
P90
gonna
things"?
assume they approached him.
Okay.
Is what I would say. I would think that they've gone out of their way to reach out to him and say, "Let's do something together. We know that you've been playing. He had that jazz master he's playing for a while,
Mhm.
different things like that." And they probably threw the ball in his court and said, "What would you want us to make?" Now, with all that being said, I think what they're aiming for with like an Ariel Posen, a Zach Bryant, I think about that Brad Paisley that just came out a few months ago too. What they want to do is not only just support these older legacy artists that are clearly like icons at this point.
I do
and
like that.
those-
I like that we're like sort of
Yeah,
stretching out a little bit
Yes.
and saying, okay.
I think
let's
they
see
want
what
their
happens.
custom shop to resemble their production line stuff where they bring in cool, cool newer artists. Now, would I throw Ariel Posen up as being one of the coolest guys around? No, not for me. But I do know that we've got customers who come into the shop that absolutely adore everything he does.
Well, he is, like I said, we saw him live a few times, and he's an amazing.
amazing.
Player.
Yeah.
Now, do you think it's a good way for Fender to throw out random configurations? Not random, but different ones to see if they stick. Almost like the J Mascis Jazz Masters and stuff have become like a thing outside of sort of J Mascis. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there's a thought of that in there. I do kind of,
I think so.
the mayor's saying that basically it's all going to be done by AI soon, which is probably scarily true.
Well, Basil Tiffany said a good comment in here about the overall thing of it. He or she, I'm not sure, said, "I think they are also trying to appear more boutique. Lots of players at Posen's level of popularity have signature guitars with boutique builders."
Well, and that's what he's kind of been. A lot of what he's been doing in the past is that, right?
Well, yeah.
Not necessarily a signature, but just playing these boutique sort of,
Yeah.
especially with the baritone guitars.
Yeah.
You know?
And part of me feels like they probably caught on to that and said, "Okay, we
Gotta
need
take
to
that back a little bit.
Yeah, we got to get into this game and we got to work with these guys." Well, once again,
I think that's smart.
I think it is. It's neat to see. I think it's cool that they're going that route. I hope that they continue to go that way, because in years past, I feel like they have picked even more like the Johnny A Strat.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about Johnny A, and I learned some about him, and I was like,
Sean.
whatever, you know.
Shame.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
this is my thought, you know. I was like,
It's like, no,
okay,
yeah.
who's that? I'm sure there's people who have the same reaction to the aerial posing, but at least I guess you could say the aerial posing is bringing something different to the table. You know, with the P90s.
Which, yeah, I mean, somebody said on here, I can't remember who said that, like, they're nice to see something, you know, like a lot of these signature strats, it's just, oh, it's a strat and it's got a weird pick guard. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's nice to see some actual
Yeah.
different specs. I will say, maybe slightly moving forward. Let's see, who said, I know Tiger Palmer said, I just noticed a Dave Murray Sig Strat this morning. It's been out for a while, but I've never heard anyone talking about it. I feel like there's quite a few Fender things that are going on the radar like that. Like, they've got this new 62 Super Amp.
Yep.
The brown face,
Yeah.
brown Tolex, you know. It looks amazing. It's out. You can pre-order it on Sweetwater. I've not seen one video. I've not seen one demo. There's nothing about it on Fender's site. You know what I mean?
Kind of crazy.
Like, I'm when I saw that, like, obviously we saw it before it was released, but
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was kind of excited about that one. But
Well, I mean,
a little 210 40 watt, you know, harmonic tremolo.
I think it's dope. Like you know my affinity for harmonic trim at the moment. I'm excited for that, and it is weird to me that nobody's talked about it.
I just think that's odd, and it's the same thing with the Dave. So it's
When we
weird,
get
like when
ours-
they put out things and they sort of don't mention them.
Yeah,
You know,
but I think it. I don't know. I'm excited for the posing strat. I'm also excited to get those supers in and try one of those out and do a video on it because they look like they're going to be pretty awesome. And I've got Fender concert fever right now.
he's got a fever.
I got a fever, and the only thing that can solve it
The
is a
only
Fender
cure is
concert.
harmonic tremolo. By God.
So Peter Southwell asked this question, and I think it'd be a good one. He said, "I'd love to hear what you guys think about alternative materials: aluminum, epoxy, fiber, carbon fiber. I've always wanted to try, but never encountered it in the wild in person." Well, I know there's some exactly. There's varying opinions here. I think aluminum necks are cool. I think aluminum bodies are whatever. Same thing with the loose side and all that. If you threw me an aluminum neck, I would put it on a guitar and I would play it.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm open to all those things, right? I'm not just like, no.
But he's like,
But I
Prove
just
it.
I just need to hold one and play one that I feel is as good as an old wood guitar, and I've not done that yet. Like, and I've not played a ton of any of these things. Some of them I haven't played at all. So I just need to be convinced. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the mayor's gonna have good thoughts on this because I feel like he's into all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I have yet to play one of those guitars that I think is as resonant or inspiring as like a good Strat or like a good Les Paul or a good 335 that's made out of
well,
kind of wood, tried and
Yeah.
true wood combinations. And I mean, you know, that's all.
Yeah.
I just need to see it done, and then
you ready? Here's my retort to that. I don't expect it to sound like anything else. I expect it to
it
sound
can
like
be
that.
its own sound.
Yeah.
I just need it to be inspiring. I
Yeah.
will say,
No,
like,
I get that. Yeah.
like, and I take this back. Like some of the, I've played a few James Trussarts, the steel bodied or aluminum bodied, and the mule like a caster things.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, right? So like those, I'm sort of into.
Yeah.
The other stuff, I just needed to see it. Like, and I've played some of the aluminum necks. I thought were okay, but I didn't love. I wasn't like, wow,
No,
amazing.
And obviously there's something that's holding me back because I don't own one.
Yeah.
If I had an endless amount of money, though, I would buy an aluminum neck and I would either put it on something or do something a little bit different with it because I do think it is cool, especially if you're into it. Because no matter what you do, and sounds cliche and probably stupid, there is a bit of a metallic-y thud to it when you play it. But if the music that you're playing lends itself to that, I feel like you can pull a lot from it. You know, if you're into making noise and doing a lot of weird things and stuff, it can set itself to that. Now, would I say I'd pick that up and I'd play it like I play this? Absolutely not. Different inspiration.
It's fine
yeah.
for them to be different, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm fine with something that's just different.
Now,
you know?
moving into the carbon fiber world, I thought carbon fiber on a guitar was the dumbest thing forever until I played a Rain song and I didn't know that it was carbon fiber.
Right.
until I had been playing it for about 15 minutes. I was like, damn, that's a good guitar. And I started to talk to the guy who owned it, and he said, yeah, man. He's like, carbon fiber. I was like, what?
I used to play with a songwriter named Brent Lindley. If I'm saying his name, he'll never see this, so it doesn't matter. But he had this red carbon fiber rain song.
Yeah.
This sounded awesome when he played it, and that guitar was just like him. You just thought of it and him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he drug it everywhere, and you didn't have to worry about it. But man, it sounded really good. And he played with like metal finger picks, and it was always the greatest. Like it was really good. So yeah, I could see that. You know,
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean,
I'd have a
blew
carbon
my
fiber
mind.
acoustic, especially to travel around with.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
When one of those, I was like I said, that
maybe if you need
blew
to
my
dig
mind.
yourself out of the snow. That's a little inside joke for us all here.
Only if it's shaped like an Explorer.
Only if it's shaped like an Explorer. That's why. Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? McCheese says Ovation guitars deserve more respect. They sound so bright plugged in. I mean, the Ovation guitars definitely had a moment, right?
Yeah.
Like they definitely did a thing and filled a void for a bit, and they were. I think they were pretty darn innovative for that moment.
Yeah.
I just hate that, like when you play them, they do the thing where they go whoop, you know, because they're not. It just they want to roll up yourself.
Well,
I don't understand it.
There's
But
that, and
and sitting down, they kind of suck.
I don't think I've ever played. Now I haven't played a million Ovations, but I've probably played 30 to 40. I've never played one that rocked my world. I'll just say that.
They tend to they all end up with high action and like
the
almost
top
like
splits.
Yeah. No, I had my best friend growing up, the first band I ever played in. He had an Ovation to start with. And his dad was like, his dad had a really like the high end Ovation stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And like had a couple of them and loved them.
The celebrity.
No, even whatever they called, the Adamuses or something like that. Like I don't know, I remember what they called, but you know, they were super, and he was super into it until we discovered Taylor. This was in like the late '90s, and we were like, oh my god, Taylor guitars, they're boutique, and he got a Tayller, and I don't think he ever touched that Ovation again. Yeah, he went and got like a 710 CE that was blue.
Now I just want to read Ned's Donut Shop to maybe wrap up our Ovation talk here.
Ovation can suck it.
That's right, dude. Ovation guitars can suck it.
But they're still out there.
Oh yeah, they're still kicking, dude.
I used to want one so bad with the little leaves, you know, little leaf things. If what is that the Baxter? Will remember this. You're too young, probably. Was that the guitar that Zach Morris played on Saved by the Bell? I believe it was.
Got an Ovation?
Yeah, I think he had the Ovation with the little. Look it up. Look it up.
I'll look it up. Yes, keep working.
Look it up.
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Jamie. Pour My Songs Out says, is there an older Ovation without a cracked top? Probably not. Now, a double neck Ovation might be kind of cool. That might be kind of fun. Dude, when I got to college, I bought this little, like, I don't even think I realized it was like a little 3/4 size Ovation that didn't even plug in to just sit around. Because I didn't have an acoustic guitar. I only had electric guitars. But,
I found the electric guitar clip where he just like.
there was a few times where he's playing guitar. And I remember,
Oh, that's fun.
what are you going to do? And then they had the deep bowl ones that were really fat. I feel like you had to have the thin one. I don't know. Ovations. For a while there, if you were playing plugged in, you were either playing an Ovation or a Takamine.
Takamine was the king.
Takamine, for the longest time, man, was the plugged in thing. Sean, you missed that too. You didn't live through that either.
I don't have to live through it. It's amazing.
The Eagles just playing Takamines.
Yuck. Smash him.
See Don Henley drumming on the back of a Takamine, sitting on that stool. They're all across the front of the stage. Welcome to the Hotel California. We probably got demonetized from that one little.
Don
Did he
Henley
say the word
sitting at his
California?
computer right now,
Jesus,
scrolling YouTube,
you know.
waiting to see it pop up.
The Mighty Woodrow says he still has his old Takamine. I believe our pal, old Frankie, was a Takamine diehard.
He was. Is it? He still is, probably, right?
I have seen him playing that. He had that Epiphone, like the big jumbo, like inspired by Gibson, which is pretty sweet looking.
Those are pretty
I don't know
great
if he's doing
guitars,
that
too.
now, but, you know. Yeah, no, Matt's right. Takamine was the acoustic of the 90s. Or Takamine, if you're so inclined to say it that way.
How do you guys say it?
Ibanez. Why do I look like Mario on steroids? That's good.
I like when people come in there, Takamini.
Mark says he couldn't believe the Eagles and the Takamine.
Take a mine.
Take a mine. Takamine. Takamine? Yeah, no, I shouldn't say that. That seems wrong. Don Henley's going to pay y'all a visit. I would love for Don Henley to pay me a visit. That would make me happy.
I'd make fun of him the whole time.
I mean,
Like, oh,
you
boo, boo.
listen, Don Henley is an asshole. We're not gonna. No one's gonna.
No other way around it.
But I love him. I love his asshole songs.
Oh yeah.
Baxter hates Don Henley. Don, if you ever come see us, Don Henley.
It's the other ones I don't like.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
He's a big Glenn Fry hater.
He's like, the bigger the asshole, the more I like him.
Yeah, Don's my favorite.
I mean, honestly, could you think of another duo in a band that are bigger pricks? No. Bigger assholes,
you mean
bigger
besides
dicks?
Paul and John?
Oh,
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm
kidding.
sure they bullied George.
I'm mostly kidding.
They bullied George and Ringo. They probably
Ringo's
treated like a stupid chip.
He's like, I'm just happy to be here.
They probably beat his ass, dude. They reamed his ass. The moment he left that studio, they said, bring in the real drummer.
That's it. We're getting our first defamation lawsuit today.
Oasis. Are you kidding me, dude? Oasis, it's all in brotherly love.
They're assholes in the way that, like...
You want them to be.
Yes. It's like, it's hilarious to see.
I feel like they would be nice to average people for the most part. Glenn Fry was always cool at the golf tournaments. There you go. I bet Glenn Fry was fine. Listen, I'm kind of fine with the level of assholeness that they are. Because they're, I mean...
Until you're in the band and somebody pours a beer on your head, and then you're like, fuck.
But that's like saying... Hey, man, I don't want James Brown to be an asshole. But you do. Because you want the band that tight. You want them that tight. And they're not that... Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Anybody that's ever run a band, you know how to not have a tight band? Be nice. Don't stop being an asshole and see what your band does. Nothing. Because musicians are lazy.
Listen,
that's all I'm saying. Baxter's smiling because he knows that what I'm saying is true.
I was also watching Saved by the Bell. The song is called Friends Forever, and it's where
is it by the Zack Attack?
Somebody took the audio from what Zach. They took the guitar out and they put the audio of what Zach would have been playing the guitar, and it's hilarious. We'll watch it later. Priceless.
I mean, and I also, like, Adam says the Glenn fight with, I'm assuming you're talking about old Don Felder, is great. I mean, it is kind of great. I don't know. I just think those guys, hey.
Mike Gamby said Casino Guitars Weekly Eagles Hate live stream.
Listen, I love the Eagles.
I love the Eagles, but I'll tell you this. I was thinking about it the other day. Whenever you consider the fact that Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and Pink Floyd all came from the same little area of the earth in the same time frame, and you hear how different all those bands are, I'm like, God, it makes me look at and don't get me wrong, still love the Eagles, all right? You know me. You know where I fall. But also...
I mean, the Eagles, though, like, came from, like, their own little weird... That, like, California, like, Flying Burrito Brothers, weird, you know...
And by that,
country
he means
rock.
Detroit and Texas. And they said, damn it.
I mean, they came from there, but
nobody likes the blues anymore. What do we need to do?
Glenn Fry was going to be in the Silver Bullets, the Silver Bullet Band, but his mom said no. I thought that was a hilarious story. Because imagine Bob Seger being like, come out and be in the band, and your mom be like, nah.
I'd have been like... I'm going with Bob Seger, Mom.
But imagine having that happen and then being lucky and fortunate or whatever you want to call, destined by the gods enough to still go to California and live above, what's his name, with Don Henley, Jackson Brown, and then still have like the greatest, like one of the biggest selling bands of all time. I'm just saying.
Old Jack Brown, dude. Right upstairs.
So what is the greatest Eagles song?
What's
the pinnacle?
I think there's a lot of people, there's a lot of cheeseheads that would go, Hotel California. But I do think Take It Easy is maybe amazing. The better embodiment of a shift in music in the 70s in America.
They live in different worlds to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all the stuff, like Take It Easy is the pinnacle of the sort of like Bernie Ledden, like their country rock.
You got me. James Dean. James Dean is the #1 song.
Remember we heard that band do it the other day, and we were like, why are they covering this?
Why would you do this? James Dean.
Whatever.
James Dean.
It's great. It's amazing.
I'm sorry, that song, it makes me want to burn things down. I cannot stand it. But The first record, Desperado, great song.
Desperado.
Tequila Sunrise, amazing. Everything into those.
I think Victim of
One
Love
these
is an
nights,
amazing song.
Victim of Love, In the City.
That guy, that's a great song. I mean, like, I think a lot of people, like, there's a lot of good rock and roll history with old Joe Walsh, even before the Eagles. Out preaching the gospel of the Les Paul to the people.
Just like
To Jimmy Page.
talk about somebody who just walked into places and left magic everywhere he went. Like,
Jimmy, you need this Les Paul. No, I'm good. No, you gotta have it. Okay.
all right. Oh, look at that.
Jimmy, take a break from your Satanism and check out this guitar.
Just play it. Stop playing with that
Stop,
fish.
Stop with that spell, Jimmy. I'm just saying. Hotel California may be overplayed. It ain't cheesy. See, Murray gets it.
It's not cheesy, but it's definitely overplayed, and
Everyone should have to learn how to play the solo
I hate
because it has amazing things.
Don
in it.
Felder. Okay, that's what it really is, and he wrote it. Don Felder.
See,
I'm sorry.
the other guys are assholes, but you respect them. You lost all your respect for Don Felder.
Oh yeah, I'm like, you dork. Like, come on, dude. Well, I kept the thing alive. Why couldn't I sing? Because you're not Don Henley, bro. Like, put on your big girl panties and get over it. You know, like, step off, you know? Like, did Joe Walsh ever cry about not being able to sing Hotel California? No. You know why? Because he's Joe Walsh. Be Don Felder. It's too late, though. It's too late. Sorry, Don. James Gang, better than the Eagles. I think the issue is that James
I think what
Gang-
you're saying is they're cooler.
They
than
are.
the Eagles,
They are cooler.
but
than
I don't
the
know
Eagles.
about better than the
Yeah.
Eagles. You know,
I'll give you that.
the
I'd say
Eagles was a
cooler.
pretty friggin' amazing band, to be honest.
Warriors, come out and play, yay! Nice.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I say that I actually enjoy the James Gang, but really only once Joe Walsh took over. Once Joe Walsh took over, it was better.
Weekly casino hate fest. I don't feel like it's that hate fueled. I mean, I will say though. I mean, like, do I hate Don Felder with passion? No, but come on,
Whatever.
come on.
I've covered plenty of Eagles songs.
We can
It's
all look back
fine.
at him and be like, why be in the biggest band in the world when you could be a bitch? You know?
Oh, damn. Whew.
Bang.
Steve Cutler says our volume is so low.
Low? You want more? You want more juice, dude? I can give you more juice. I ain't afraid.
Vote it out.
Vote it out. Does anybody else think that we need more juice, or is his TV just in?
Ned says, how low is it?
All right, I pumped it up.
It's pumped up. It's
I don't
pumped up. And
hear no
everybody's like, oh my God, my ears.
I don't want to hear no
My
crying.
ears.
You guys should have torches and pitchforks on the back wall.
Part of my songs out says my favorite Joe Walsh quote is not remembering that the James Gang and Ozzy toured together, and he told Ozzy, "It must have happened. We have the posters." That's kind of hilarious. I also can't really imagine Ozzy and the James Gang together, but I mean, it's cool.
I know. I can't either. It would be wild, though.
Why not? You know.
You know what would suck about getting old? When you're on all those medications and you can't drink grapefruit juice ever again.
Ever again. I don't know. Yeah, no, John. It had to be Sabbath. I'm assuming.
Sabbath. What did we
Had
talk
to be.
about the Sabbath show last week? Not really, did we? No, we
No,
didn't.
no, we
What,
didn't.
what did
I
all
think
you
I
guys
was
think?
planning to. Then
Yeah.
I haven't
I
gotten
watched
to
it.
watch much of it.
I watched a bunch of it. I thought, wow, what a nice day. Nuno Betancourt, what a badass. That dude can rip, like ripping nose. I mean,
I mean, there was a lot of pretty amazing play. Like, I feel like here's a great question for you guys. I feel like those things must be neater and cooler when you're a guitar player, like all of us, and you care about the guitar. I feel like if you're just an average person, do you think it's as cool? I don't know. In my brain, that's all very guitar centric.
Yeah.
Like, it's all tied up together. But my life is just that way, so
Yeah.
I think we probably have a skewed perception of it, right? But I mean, obviously, people who aren't guitar players care about it.
Yeah.
It's just funny. But I kind of dig that. And I also can't imagine living in a time like that when, like, that guitar music was pinnacle
yeah.
of like pop music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was everything.
Well, like,
so it's kind of amazing.
you know, them putting out those songs, and I like to try and transport myself back mentally to what it'd be like hearing that stuff for the first time in like 1970. Like, imagine hearing Iron Man and just
I'd
thinking,
be like, what is happening?
the hell
world
is
is
going
ending.
on?
Jesus is coming.
I mean, seriously, you'd be like, they are
Yeah.
conjuring the devil in these songs. Like, it gets insane on there, dude. You know.
Well,
You listen to
that or like War Pigs, any of that stuff. man.
Yes. Well, you listen to the first track off of the official, like the first debut record, where it is Black Sabbath is the song, and it's like a thunderstorm, and then all of a sudden it's like, bow, down. You're like, what is happening? This sounds ominous.
Nick Shearer wants to know a 2-minute related question. Between the two of you, who is usually the big spoon, little spoon? Well, I'm larger than all my amps, so I'm the large spoon. I'm always the big spoon behind.
I mean, I think I saw it in there earlier, and I think people try to say it to hurt our feelings, but we know that we are the twink and the bear. Okay.
What is that?
If you got Baxter in here, it'd be 2 twinks, a bear, and a cave. You know.
All right. Okay. I
You know
no,
what a twink
no,
is.
I mean, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like a
Yeah.
thing though? Is there some show I'm missing called The Twink and the Bear? Or is
No,
that just a
this
thing?
you're in it.
Oh.
You're on the show. You didn't know? This was like a whole side plot. We've been telling people for years. The twink
It's
and the
fine.
bear.
It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Nuno and Jake sound like a Nickelodeon TV show. They kind of do.
Does.
And we also, Basil Tiffany says Joe Satriani has disturbingly hairy forearms.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If I met Joe Satriani, I'd be a little scared. Not like intimidated, scared, but just like, hey, okay, I'll see you later. Like, get away from me. I don't know what it is. It's him. Hate streak, baby.
Yeah, you know. Matt says it's not nearly as exciting as you guys are thinking, but it was cool. You can get together with whoever got the album first. I mean, yeah, I can see that. Adam Price says Iron Man probably sounded like mindless noise to older people. I think that happens a lot with whatever the new music is. It sounds like mindless noise. And I must say that I have hit the age where some things sound like mindless noise to me.
That's right.
Yeah. Tell me what acoustic pickup to put in all my guitars. Well, you probably just go get an LR Bags Anthem. Call
That's
it a
what I
day.
would do.
Unless you want to be crazy and you want the new LR Bags Hi-Fi Duet.
That's pretty good too. I put one of those in. Sounded pretty good.
You know, but it just depends. That's probably the easiest. Like, just sounds good without doing anything else to it. You know. So there you go. Iron Man blew my dad's speakers while he was on vacation. So there you go.
Joe's a super nice guy.
Have you guys been seeing the whole AI band bullshit thing?
Oh yeah.
Rick Beato just put out a video where he like made a little like indie rock artist from AI.
Yeah. You know what I think is going to happen? I think people are slowly just going to find out it kind of just sounds derivative and like shit every time. Like, we're just going to keep on exposing it until we just go like, okay, well, let's just not listen to it. It'll take a while. I think there's some people who are like, no, that's not how it's going to go. AI is going to take over everything. I mean, if we let it.
Oh, we're going to let it.
That's what it sounds
We're going
like.
to beg it to.
And-
Like, yeah, I don't like doing stuff.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Please,
No,
Lord,
that's it.
take me.
Yeah.
He was right. Rick's AI music sucked like a lot.
Basil said the fact that Beato doesn't like it makes me want to like it. That's kind of hilarious.
I love Rick, but also there are some things, some topics that he gets on, and I'm like, Rick, it's okay. And he knows. He like jokes about it. He's like, I know. It's like an old man yelling at
The thing about it, right, is that the AI making these bands is not doing anything differently from what radio executives already do and record executives when they say, hey, we need you to be this. It's not anything different from people putting boy bands together.
Yeah.
It's Simon Cowell. I mean, it's just more efficient and better. So the thing that sucks about it is that people are going, like the average people who don't give a shit that there's people who play real instruments or like write real songs, they're going to hear it and say, hell yeah, and then they're gonna, well, they're not gonna say it like that because they're gonna be like teenage girls, but still they're gonna hear it and they're gonna say, man, this is amazing.
Well,
You know, and they don't care that you can't go see it live. And hell, maybe we're not that far from you going to see it live with holograms and stuff. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, the idea of it has always been around. We've been doing it forever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what really sucks. It's just the eventual.
It continues to be, and I was talking to a dude about this last night. I came over to my house. We were working. I was giving a little bit of a. He's a guitar player I've been playing with, and we've been doing like faux lessons while also learning some of my original material. We were talking about it last night. He said, "Man, I feel like we live in the worst time to do music and stuff." And I said, "Well, I was like, it's a dual-edged sword." I was like, if you go back to the 1960s, you for one, good luck finding somebody who's going to give you a shot and do all this stuff and get out there, right? Today, anybody can put music out. Now, here's the issue with anybody being able to put music out. Is anybody can put music out. So it's an ocean now. But whenever you look at it, there has always been something like you're saying. There's always been somebody who's trying to do the easy thing, make a quick buck, do whatever that is.
It's just pop music. Hey, this is what the people want. Give the people what they want.
Sometimes it works. But I think no matter what, it devolves into some kind of chaotic mess. And call it karma, call it the Lord's work, call it whatever you may. It all comes back around. So,
I mean, I honestly think the more those things go that way, the more it probably opens up for you to do something that's kind of fresh, or like revivalist, kind of back to roots. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, like who's that one kid who's always like, as soon as anything happens, he's putting out a protest song and he's playing the cheap, like the Gretsch acoustic guitars.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Jesse Wells.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like you know, I don't know that he has a place outside of like right now. Do you know what I mean? But he's kind of, I mean, maybe he's not profiting from that much, but I hope he is, because I can't open my Instagram without seeing him. You know,
no, he's been booking tours and stuff like that and doing good there. But I mean, I think that is the positive to this, is that whenever people do find out this shit's fake, they run from it and they're like, oh, it's gross.
Now, have you guys seen the little meme about you just opened your Amazon guitar and you play the first chord and it says that voicing's owned by like the AI Ed Sheeran, and then it gives you a mild shock and won't play.
Oh no. No.
I mean, now that's a little scary, but you know, that's extreme probably.
Yeah. I mean, it would be hard for us to get to that point, I think.
You know? Right. It's just funny.
But I mean, it is something that we should all consider and talk about, because regardless, if we don't talk about it, I think it just naturally will go there.
Now, I agree with what Mayor McShee says. Zappa said back in the 60s, the record companies would take chances and let artists try weird shit, because they didn't know. They were guys in suits who didn't pretend to know what anybody wanted. So they were just trying to make money. And I do think that's true. You know, and then it was all of a sudden like, oh, we got cool AR guys who were like, we know what the people want. And that's what's happened to terrestrial radio. Like, we know what the people want. We make the program, we make the playlists. So.
That's why everybody listens to radio still, because they're right.
That's right.
Oh, wait.
It was a great move.
Bang.
It was the great move.
That's right.
It is Jesse Wilson.
Give a shout out to Tony there, remember, for 28 months.
Tony Leonardi.
28 months of hanging with us, baby.
Tony is kind of awesome.
You are awesome, Tony.
Tony, are you still loving your McCready Strat? I would love to know. But yeah, Tom says lots of bands didn't hit until their third or fourth album.
That's why you just gotta keep on moving.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Bean Lamb says AI and pop stuff could have each other. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, if you want AI, because I don't care about those people, like, anyway. I don't listen to their junk anyway. So if it wants to be AI,
well, and it's like,
I don't really care.
Take Benson Boone, for example. You know, he's the guy who does the backflips. And he's like, please stay. You know, and he put out a new record, right? It sucked. You know, but it's like, it's not that.
But he's backflipping, Sean, for God's sake.
But people are now starting to kind of catch on to the gimmick of it, and they're like, we don't care. You know, you got to have a little bit more to do or a little bit more to say. And those artists fade out. Those are your one-hit wonders, and then people rise to the top, you know? Think what you want to about Sabrina Carpenter. That's all. No. I think she at least is working within that pop element with a, I don't know, a cool
Sean
take.
means she sings in her underwear.
Well, she does that too.
She
and
sings only in underwear.
She is man's best friend. Didn't you see the record?
Is that the record for real?
She's getting us all, dude.
Hey, whatever.
But no, I mean, you know, it's like, at first I kind of wrote her off, and the more that I've heard it, I'm like, No, I get it. Like there's something there, and it's nice comparing it to Benson Boone's goofy backflipping ass and fake Prince playing motherfucking ass whenever he gets on stage at not Glastonbury, but whatever, and he's not actually playing the piano. It's like, no, he is the assimilated pop star, and she is too, but they at least just make it more entertaining.
Yeah.
Not even just because she's a chick, but because she's got a great voice. Somebody put it in there. Panties and a voice, dude.
There you go. That's the new record. That she should. I mean, I could see her making that record. It'd be kind of funny. You know, whatever. There's always going to be pop music like that. There's always going to be a handful of them who are actually talented. And there's going to be a lot of junk. So whatever works, you know. Homegrown Sun says, instead of talking losers, what about up and coming artists we love like Sturgill Simpson? We do love Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill's bomb, dude.
I don't know if he's even up and coming anymore.
I think he's kind of cemented his place.
I think he's got a place.
Yeah, country
old,
Americana.
Him and old Tyler Childers and Jason Isbell are kind of like the little forefathers of all that stuff.
Here's a cool question. You ready? Yeah. Who are the modern day highwaymen? If you had to put it together yourself, who would you put in that group? That's crazy. Yeah, Sturgill would be in there.
Yeah, but I don't know that they like. I just don't know. It seems to me, and I'm sure that we look at some of this, the history of this through like these rose-colored glasses. It seems to me like all the way back then, rock stars, like whether or like whether it's those guys around that time period or like, you know, guys in the '60s and early '70s, like hung out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like made stuff together and collaborated. And I just don't know that who's doing that now.
You ready? Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers did that. Bingo, right? Now,
so they're in it?
They're in it, right? Because, so whenever...
And are we sticking to, like, the sort of Americana country?
Yeah.
For
we'll keep it in all that general genre. Okay. Now, I do think a Jason Isbell would almost have to be in there for the sheer amount of just his whole entire story and everything. Sure. You know what I mean? Like his rise, all that stuff.
Sure. Murray's got Stapleton in there. I could see that.
I could see that too. He'd be your big like icon of that, like your pop icon.
Maybe like your Johnny Cash.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Not saying that the other guys aren't iconic, just saying that he would be the dude that you're like, he wrote.
Do you think that nowadays it'd be harder to get them together without their sort of egos and personalities clashing?
I think that and political things and stuff. Now,
but I could see. So if you had Stapleton, Tyler Childers, Jason Isbell, and who's our other one? Sturgill.
Jason Isbell, yeah.
Sturgill, Chris Stapleton, Jason Isbell, Tyler Childers.
Yep.
Is there anybody else that fits in there? I feel like you almost put you just put Dave Cobb in the group.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's just there.
as the producer.
Yeah. Well, and that would be.
There's got to be a Christopherson, like the guy who's an okay singer, but he's like the songwriter.
Yeah. I think
like
that would
Dylan
be cool.
and the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah.
You know.
You could just expand it like that. That would be awesome. I think if you did that, that would sound amazing. And also, as I said that with like the political thing or your egos and stuff, Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and Chris Christopherson had all conflicting views in some sphere, you know, but also like we're great friends, which I think is what we need more of.
Oh, Billy Strings. Somebody's saying Billy Strings should be in there. That would actually kind of make sense.
That would be cool.
You could put him in there, or Marty Stewart. I feel like Marty Stewart's he's kind of like a holdover from when the actual Highwaymen, you know what I mean? I don't know if he's young enough for that anymore.
I would almost say with the initial four that we said, and then if you were to do another group, it would be like, and talking even younger dudes, Billy Strings, Marcus King, like, God, I'd hate to
Where
say
does
like
Lucas
a
Nelson
Bryan.
fit in there? Is he, maybe he's not big enough for any of it.
I don't think he's big enough for any of it, and I like Lucas.
He just
Nelson.
did a Joe Rogan, you know?
But you know,
I could see Billy and like Marcus King, Billy Strings and Marcus King, doing a thing. That would be kind of awesome.
I mean, I'm already excited for whatever they have done together. I'm sure there's some mashup in the works that's already happened there.
Black Jesus, yeah.
There's some people saying like somebody said Travis Tritt. Who would it be if you were doing '90s country?
Like the friggin' like the.
If you did Giants, it would be like Garth Brooks.
I mean, you had some really big ones in the 90s. You had Alan Jackson and Garth Brooks. You had Tracy Lawrence was huge in the 90s.
George Strait.
I mean, George Strait was almost big before that. He's also like all those other guys. They were just even the stuff that we think of as hardcore country now. They were like, this is rock music. And George Strait was never really that. He was always like fiddle and steel guitar and songs about rodeos.
I mean, Brooks and Dunn, like that just as a duo. But also,
Travis Tritt was pretty legit.
It'd be a great concert setup.
But Travis Tritt got a lot of shit.
Yeah.
For being too rock and roll. Brooks and Dunn and who now?
Brooks and Dunn and Hall and Oates.
Ah!
You kidding me? Brooks and Dunn kicks, dude. Neon Moon, holy shit.
There's a handful of songs when I was younger that I hated of Brooks and Dunn, and it soured me. But then now I think that My Maria song I hate. God, I hate that song. It's so because it's
if
horrible.
I never hear Boot Scoot Boogie again,
I love
it'll be
Boot
too
Scoot
soon.
Boogie.
Fuck
I love
that
Boot
song.
Scoot Boogie. But I have really good memories of playing Boot Scoot Boogie live in like these huge places, and so I think that's why I like it. But now there's some amazing Brooks and Dunn songs. That Red Dirt Road, that was a great song. Neon Moon is hard to beat.
Brand New Man.
God, that's a good song.
Fucking hits,
I saw
dude.
the light. I got a little my one of my first cousin's daughters, who's like 11, can sing every word of the Brand New Man song. I was like, how do you know? And then she's just singing all these Brooks and Dunn songs.
You want to know why?
I'm like, how do you know these?
So
But she
Ronnie
does.
Dunn is a genius. That's why they did that reboot stuff.
Yes.
And country radio. I didn't realize until I was talking to a student. They said I heard this song the other day. It sounded great, and this has been a couple years ago. And they played Brand New Man, the Luke Combs version with them, and they were like, "Yeah, it's just so cool. This song's great." Luke Combs did this. I was like, "Nah, dude." I was like, "That's an older song." I was like, "That's killer though. It sounds."
I mean, it is kind of amazing. Somebody's talking about Adam Price is saying when Alan Jackson got his drummer to not use drumsticks on the fake CMA performance. Did you ever seen that clip?
No.
They're playing. They wouldn't let him play live. They made him plug in. And then the drummer's back there like playing, but he's got no sticks in his hand. It is kind of awesome. There was also one where they cut George Jones out of the CMAs. Like because they wanted him to come and play, but then they wanted him to sing like a 30-second like cut down thing of his song. And so he was basically like, F you guys, you know what I mean, and didn't come. So Alan Jackson went out. Instead of singing his song that he was supposed to sing, they did a tribute and sang George Jones the whole fucking song.
Fucking yeah, dude.
And I was like, yeah.
That's punk as hell.
I mean, that is kind of punk. Diamond Rio is kind of awesome as well. Old, what's his name?
Who's gonna fill their
Olander.
shoes? Who's gonna stand up tall?
Ned says we're talking country and first cousins, baby. Basil Tiffany says it's a crime Jack Pearson isn't famous. I feel like first off, you're right, because Jack Pearson is amazing. But I feel like Jack Pearson is the level of famous he wants to be.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like that kind of guy.
There's a handful
Unassuming
of people. Yeah,
and
Sturgill,
amazing.
another example of that. At his level, I don't think Sturgill wants to be bigger than that. I don't think he wants to be Zach Bryan or Luke Bryan.
No. Do you ever listen to Jack? You know who Jack Pearson is?
No clue.
So was one of the guitar players in the whole string of the Allman Brothers stuff.
Oh, cool.
Because then all sorts. But I mean, stupid slide player, everything. Just like probably one of the greats like ever. Like just like he's one of those guys you see and you're like, how is somebody that good?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
That's awesome.
I mean, just amazing. But his personality seems that he's kind of like wants to kind of be in the shadows, play amazing guitar, plays a Squire half the time. Doesn't care. But there's a bunch of videos of him playing like Dwayne's guitars too.
That's cool.
We
have
pretty amazing.
Dwayne Betts coming to the Sunrise.
We do have Dwayne
I
Betts coming
think
to the
we
Sunrise.
should try and do a little interview.
I'm thinking about
studio,
kidnapping him.
Hang out with him.
What, you going to kidnap him?
Throw him in
He
the back
looks
of the
like he
truck.
can't weigh that much.
No.
Imagine I grab him, you put a hood over his head.
Hey, what the hell?
We're going to bring him back just to be buddies. I feel like he'd think it was funny.
Sit down,
and then
man.
we'd be pals.
Sit down.
Hey, man.
Have a seat. Oh.
Have a beer. No, you're not in any danger.
I'll pour it in your mouth. Don't worry.
It'd be great if you could do things like that and it was cool. I feel like it's not. We don't live in that world anymore. It's not okay.
Nah, man, we just wanted to talk.
We just want to say hi. We're big fans.
Thank you. Wow.
It's
Man.
Homegrown says kidnap him and with Baxter do a Horseman episode. Jam. There you go.
Kind of dope.
But hey, what are you gonna do?
I saw Ingve's signature protein powder.
I don't know
I'm
that
a
he
little
needs protein powder.
confused. Yeah,
to
I
be
was like,
honest.
are you like... Also, he looked way too young in the trailer, or like the what the
Probably
commercial.
AI. It's AI.
I know.
Yngwie.
I was like,
Yngwie,
how?
AI.
I was like, there's no way he still looks like that. I was
Well.
like,
I'm with John W777. I want nothing of Yngwie's protein.
yeah, no, that shit is scary, dude.
Yeah, no, man. I just don't know.
Doing unflavored protein powder.
Sean Brooks says Garth Brooks doesn't even play guitar. How did he get so famous? He's an okay acoustic player. Yeah. Did he write those songs, or was he basically a country pop star? He wrote a lot of those songs, and he wrote a lot of songs for other people. Some of the big hits he didn't write because that's just the way Nashville works. But no, he was a pretty great writer. He was in town, I say in town. He was in Nashville writing before he got famous from Oklahoma.
Now,
in fact, I know some of the dudes who were in his. Well, I've met some of the dudes who were like in his original band from Oklahoma. But yeah,
some of Garth Brooks' things. He's a quirky guy. Okay.
I've always heard he's a quirky guy.
But I do think he does embody the spirit of country music quite well.
Well, now, he was the guy that they were like, this isn't country, this is rock and roll. And I think his performances were he's a great entertainer.
Yeah.
You know, he's like out there riding the lead guitar player, you know, his back and
doing
jump.
that swinging thing on the rope.
And he just seems
cool.
wide open. But all the guys I know who have talked, there used to be, there's a dude named Johnny Garcia who was Trisha Yearwood's lead guitar player. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up, once they got together and got married, he played for both. You know, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's one of those big videos. It might be the one in Central Park where you can see Johnny playing guitar, and Garth comes over and jumps on his back, and he's like, they're laughing. And kind of amazing, right?
Yeah.
That dude used to run a writer's round in this hotel in Nashville. There's more. I'll tell you the rest of the story later. But anyways, he did, and he was the coolest dude. He was a hell of a guitar player. I didn't realize when I first met him, and he'd always be like, man, I'd come up and play with him. Super fun. You know what I mean? And
awesome.
Then I realized like who he was, and then when Garth came out of retirement, they called all those guys, and they all went back out with him. They called the same band.
Which is dope too. I think the one thing Garth Brooks needs to do, he needs to put his damn music videos out.
And his music, not on Amazon or whatever.
Music everywhere, you know? And I get it, dude. Like you're trying to protect your artistic integrity.
But you're not. You're not. You're making it so that no one knows who you are anymore. But when I was in Nashville and I would get set lists for like going out with an artist, and I would inevitably have Garth Brooks songs on the set list, right?
Yeah.
And I would be going to try to find them to listen to them, and if you didn't have them on, which someone not long ago sent me. Do you remember somebody sent me
the whole box,
whole thing, which is amazing. But anyways, point of the story was I could never even find the songs. Yeah, no. I'd have to go to like some stupid Garth Brooks tribute on Spotify, like some other artist in the style of Garth Brooks to learn the song. It was always
and all that shit is out there. You know what I mean? I'm like, why would like that to me is more.
And those songs were so huge.
And listen,
like when they were, I mean, God, they were big.
I would release it to streaming, and I would say, listen, you can put out a statement and be like, this shit sucks. Okay, I think we need to fight against this, but your legacy in general, getting it out there to the masses, I think Garth Brooks is fading from popular culture memory for a lot of people in my age range. There's a lot of people who don't know. I grew up,
but there was a time when everyone he wasn't just a major country star.
When I found out he sold 100 million albums in the '90s alone, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I saw the Central Park gig and all that stuff. I was like, that all happened?
But no, he should just say, you know what? Screw it. I've made my money. I'm going to fight for younger artists, but here's all my songs. They're out on every streaming
seriously,
platform.
like
it would be amazing. And he'd probably have a resurgence, you know?
And you know what, though? Here's the other thing, too. Don't talk about your moral fiber with your artistic creations and putting your name on stuff and how you want it to be done, right? If, and only if, you were going to open up a 4-story fucking tourist trap attraction in Nashville. Like, come on, bro. What the fuck is that about? That's fucked. Where you sell all your shit as if it's a fucking one-stop shop.
We got our bonus. No, I mean, it is weird, right?
Yeah.
Now, I always heard, because I had one pal in particular who played in a Garth Brooks tribute band in Nashville. And this is when I was living there, too. And the keyboard player was actually Garth's keyboard. That was their claim. You know, the fame was like, we got one of the guys. And he went back to Garth once they went back on the road.
Yeah.
He said that Garth was like always nice to them, took care of them, but was like super particular, like about the lights and the sound, and like kind of a little tricky to work with because he was just so
Have you?
but
Yeah.
he said that they would literally be going down the road, and they'd be on 2 buses, and he'd be like, "Stop the bus," and he said they'd pull over, and it'd be like a Guitar Center, and he'd give him his little like American Express titanium thing. And and the keyboard player collected like vintage like tweed Fender amps. He said he'd just go in and find what they had.
Dude, are you
buy
kidding
them.
me?
I'm like, no. He said the
Could you
whole
imagine
band.
you and me going in there and being like,
I'll-
we would be in trouble.
And you'd
dude.
see that concert and you'd be like, pack it up.
You know
Back it
how
up.
many guitars we'd be taking home every damn tour. Now, I'll say this. If you haven't seen it, go to Amazon and watch him do his whole, like, he's designing that bar that I was just talking about.
Which the bar's cool, kind of.
It
Except
is.
they don't let you use guitar amps.
Yes.
Fuck that. But
And
otherwise.
on top of that, too, though,
You know.
if you watch the thing, you see how much of a particular asshole he is. Okay? And I'm not trying to be a
But
dick.
I think that energy is what made the show. But it's also,
Yeah.
listen, it's also what makes the show amazing, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Michael Jordan. Like, what a dick. But I love Michael Jordan with my whole heart. But I wouldn't want to hang out with him back then because he was crazy.
But
like,
he's also a great leader on
But
a
that's
team.
what makes you have
Yeah.
2 different 3-peats. Like, that's the only
Yeah.
way to do it is to be a little
out of your mind.
insane.
Yeah. It is true.
And I'm sort of fine with that. I mean, there is like this weird greatness to like asshole insanity ratio. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
That's why you and me are here.
That's why we're here. Look at us.
We're pretty reasonable.
Oh, no.
insane.
Oh, really?
No,
Oh, I thought you meant like that's why we're here. I was like, oh yeah, no, we're crazy. We're fucking nuts.
No, it could be that.
Fucking
It could be that. Whichever way you want to do it.
We thanks, Tom. Thank you.
Tom,
Fuck.
that's our lunch.
frick.
Screw Baxter.
I don't want you to. I don't
We
want to
don't
take
need-
advantage of the f bomb fun, dude. Thank you.
Johnny, you need a soft coaster. LOL. Yes. I like to.
Turn the TV up.
I like to clang them. That's funny. Sorry. I'll stop it. Sean Brooks says it's easy to criticize when you're standing outside the fire.
It is.
Man, almost pegged Jordan with the door at a record shop. That's kind of hilarious.
When you say pegged. Sorry.
I'm going to set my can down gently this time.
Here, if we actually would do
No,
this, I'm gonna
no,
pull it
no.
back just away from
No.
it because I think it rattles the mic.
I like it that way.
You guys wanted
Oh, you
it
can make us some
louder.
coasters. Okay, Mayor's going to make us some coasters.
Oh, nice, dude.
You guys want it louder? Tom,
Time to
Tom's
pay the
right.
fiddler.
The gain's all pumped up. It's all pumped up. What are you going to do?
Peg Bundy.
So anyways.
Peg Bundy, dude.
Peg
Straight up.
Bundy.
It is funny looking back. I love that show growing up. I watched it all the time, but that his name was Ed Bundy, and never thinking like, oh, that's funny. It's like Ted Bundy. Why'd they pick that?
He's just sitting there with his hand in his pants. It's so hard to see him in other movies.
Oh yeah.
Like when that was just in
when
my
he's
brain
in
growing
Modern
up. He
Family,
was,
I'm
I know.
like,
You're like, nah,
yeah.
that's
he,
not
he
him.
divorced his wife, I guess.
That's
and
not
moved
him.
on.
You know,
I love that show though.
I could start using
Al
the koozie.
Bundy. Al Bundy, not
Al Bundy,
Ed
yeah, not
Bundy.
Ed Bundy. Al Bundy.
Damn it. Thank you.
Al Bundy. What's the one movie where he's the coach, the football coach, of the little kids, the little team, with the guy from Hunting Out with Rick Moranis?
I've not seen this.
It's just hilarious.
I need to see it now.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy was the Unabomber.
There you go.
Nice.
Ed O'Neill. That's right. I couldn't think of his name. That's his name. Little Giants. You guys are always on it. Ted Kaczynski. That's the Unabomber. You know, what are you gonna do?
Ted Kaczynski. Mike
Mayor
Wazowski.
McCheese has got it. The fridge. His little niece is the fridge, but she's a chick. But she tears all the little boys up. She just
The fridge.
destroys them. Destroys them.
Destroys them.
I think she's the fridge.
Man.
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
What,
It was good times.
What are we going to do today, Johnny? I guess
Nothing.
we're going
I'm
to go
gonna
get
do
to
nothing.
work here in a minute.
I'm gonna stab myself in the
Damn it.
ear with an ice pick. You know.
Johnny's
It's gonna be
had some horrible hearing issues. It's because he's got to listen to my squawking ass all day.
All fucking day.
All
Nice.
day.
All the
Johnny!
time.
Johnny!
That's not true. It's barely true.
It's only true sometimes.
It's only a little true.
It's only a little true. The half truths.
It's half truths.
The seed of truth.
What are you gonna do?
In the fruit of shit.
Tom suggests hearing aids.
I think y'all should eat chicken parm.
Where would we get chicken parm from?
I don't know, but now I'm kind of like, maybe we should eat chicken parm.
I mean, it would be great. I don't.
I could throw down on some chicken parm. I don't
We'll
know
do
how hot
a
it
quick
is
Google
out there.
search. A quick Google search when we're done.
Yes.
Yes, Basil Tiffany. I have plenty of the old tinnitus, but I like starting friggin' July 4th. Like I got all congested.
He sounded like garbage for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Of course, Baxter's like, let me fly to Portugal. So then,
Have fun,
so I was
loser.
like, all right. But I was the kind of sick where it's irritating, and you feel like garbage, but you can still do everything you need to do, right? Well, that's gone away, but somehow just this section of my head is still, not my nose, just this part. I'm sure it's my sinuses because there's nothing in my actual ear, but I guess it's apparently it can poke against your ear canal, make your ear feel stuffy. So I can't hear out of my ear. And I had 4 gigs this last weekend, and I couldn't hear anything out of my right ear, so I felt like like something was stuffed in my ears, and I was trying to.
Sounds like not good.
But it was
one of
it
those.
was fine.
I'll say too. Whenever he says 4 gigs, there were 2 gigs back to back. So
Well, yeah, that's the way you
6 to 8 hours of music.
rocking and rolling, baby. I don't have earwax. No earwax. If I had earwax, I would know. I would know when I like flushed all the things into my ear. I put all sorts of random drops in cleaning things, but and hey, I wish it was earwax. I just pull it out. Hold your nose.
And fart, it will clear right up.
Nope. Let's try all these things. Tried them all.
Have you tried having Sean
It is the
yell?
side facing Sean, so maybe it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
already
Little wonders.
I already told you.
God bless you all. What else, Sean? What else we got for the day?
I don't know. There's not much going on in the guitar world, really. Like there is, but not really.
Like I said, the weird little brown face 62 super amp's been the thing I've been most excited about seeing.
I'm excited to get one of those in. We'll do a little rundown on
Me
it.
too.
We'll talk about it.
We got some cool vintage amps over here that we're gonna do some stuff
Do
on
some
when we get
videos
back
on
to
that.
our normalish video schedule.
Yeah.
That I think is gonna be a lot of fun. There's a spider right here, guys.
Boop. Bang. Snap. Pop. Look at that, dude.
Nasty.
The killer.
Are you guys still Gibson dealers? Well, we never were Gibson dealers, but we're about to be Gibson dealers.
We're on our way.
I think we even got a new rep. We got a
Yes,
new rep.
We do. You ever
So-
seen one of those roller coasters that's pulling you up and it's like tink 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 tink? It's like that, but it's like real.
And
slow.
then the
Tink,
whole thing
tink, tink.
collapses.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
us.
Final Destination 3.
Listen, I will say that I've almost finished the 7th book of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And it's lived up to all my hopes and dreams. I've not been this excited since the first time I read The Wheel of Time.
What are you gonna do when you're done?
I'd be pissed. You're going to pay the price.
I didn't realize how
You're
many
like,
there
what
were.
is wrong with Jonathan? I'm going to be like,
I went into the bookstore and I saw how many there were. I was like, oh shit.
the
I thought it
7
was
is
just
the
one.
current farthest one. But he's not done writing them, so I need him not to die. Because when I was in the middle of reading The Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan died. And then I felt bad, but I was also pissed. But thank God, Brandon Sanderson finished the last books with his own outline. So,
I was gonna say you should plot it out.
Tom, you don't need to mow your lawn. I needed to mow my lawn like a week and a half ago, and ask me if it's done. No, it's not.
All right.
I'm actually reading the book, Sean. Somebody told me that the audiobooks for that was really good, but I haven't done them. I'm just reading them because I'm old and I like to read words on pages.
Sean Brooks, I've been keeping up with Sun Amps, and
Nope.
I've reached out about demoing some, and I haven't heard anything back. I would love to get one into the shop just to play, and we'll talk about it and stuff. I think they look great. They sound kind of great from the video footage I've seen. That's all I know. I don't know. I hope it's coming together.
Hold on. Tom with 2 M's says, I never read the Sanderson conclusion. I need to get that. It's actually fantastic. So, it was supposed to be one book. They split into 3 because he didn't feel like he could wrap up. Because apparently he spent the last time of Jordan's life with him and his wife figuring out, what it was supposed to be. So, no, it's actually, if you haven't read it, you need to read it because it's amazing. It's good. Did you see that Marshall book, Collecting Loud History?
I have not, but I would love to see it.
I kind of would like to see that too.
Does it have pictures?
Oh my God, pictures! I like it.
I like it.
What is a vestibular neuritis?
Whatever you have, I guess. I don't know.
That. Damn it.
I would assume that's what
I
it is,
knew
right?
it was serious.
It sounds medical.
I knew it was serious. Ooh, a Z+. How many people here are Dr. Z fans? I'd kind of like to know. Goodbye, Zoot. We're about to wrap it up.
We're about to wrap it up. It's amp porn times 10. I like that. Yeah. Dr. Z, I'm not.
You're not a fan. You're not really a
Dr.
fan.
Z.
I have a soft spot in my heart for them. I've never owned one, but I've played bands with a lot of guys who owned them. And like Nashville, they were like very prevalent.
Yeah.
Because I think of old Brad Paisley for a while there.
Yeah. He's a big fan, right?
Yeah, he's a big fan. And I like what I know of Dr. Z. And I sort of like their, I think, philosophy of amp building. I'd like to own one someday. That Z Plus could be cool. I think a Z-Rec would be cool.
I like their brake light.
Sean's like, Z-Rec, 59 Bassman, I hate them all.
Yeah, they all suck.
I just don't understand. I don't understand.
A Fender amp isn't supposed to look that way, Jonathan.
You can hate. That's exactly how
It needs
they
a
ruined them.
faceplate.
They ruined them in the early '60s. That's exactly how
It needs
they're
the
supposed to
logo
look.
on the grill cloth.
No.
It
That's
can
the
be
way.
brown, it can be black, it can be silver. It
It's
just
kinda like-
cannot be
it's kinda-
tweed.
It's kind of like everything else. Leo had it right the first time around. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's also something new coming out with that like there's a new Bad Cat amp that's supposed to be all
I've never
amazing.
played a Bad Cat.
They're okay. I mean, it's kind of like I'd like to have played enough to really feel good about them. Like Matchless, I want to love, but I've never gotten to play enough. Never got to spend enough time with one.
Every Matchless I've played has kind of been like a...
But I think they're like Marshalls, right? You got to have them loud,
Yeah.
and they do this thing, and there's no reverb in a lot of them. Yeah. So you're like, okay, you got to like kind of,
yeah,
you know. Dean Lamb says 59 Bassman is S tier. Yes, thank God.
Does the S stand for shit?
Hey.
Bam!
Clearly, you've never watched One Punch Man. Clearly. But anyways, that's it. We're gonna go and argue over. I honestly, I'd take a real 59 Bassman over a Dumble all day long. If I'm gonna play it, not if I'm gonna sell it and like buy a house or something. But
I would take.
I'm gonna play it.
I would take any Fender after 1961 over a Dumble.
Sad. Well, anyways,
Do it. Yep.
we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Thanks for.
Sorry for our guidelines.
Forgive
We'll get them
us.
sorted.
I think it makes it a little bit cinematic almost. You know.
We love you all. Hit like, hit subscribe. Sean's ruined it.
Hit the bell.
I like this. Sean gets a Fender vaporizer. I love it.
A vaporizer.
Perfect. You get a vaporizer.
A vaporizer.
Sean doesn't know about that part of Fender's history. All right, we'll see you guys next time. New videos soon. We love you all.